I wasn't on the show. So you couldn't hear me laughing as I said things. Anyway, welcome to the show. Oh, which brand are we on? Why did John touch this all? Put ourselves up here. Hello, friends. Hello, enemies. Put the comments on screen. Give people a minute to get in here. There we go. We got the lighting? We do have the light lighting. All right. So, welcome to the episode 14. Harambe died for our sins. Now, we were told in the last episode, between things that happen, that, that's a good video, that there was a plan. And in this plan, there was a master plan. And with this master plan, we would, in fact, rule the land.
The fact of the matter is we are already at war, and not in some like gay civil war where, you know, like, oh, the feds are going to come after me. They're show up at my door. With some of what y'all are posting, they might actually show up at your door. I'm just saying, tone it down a little bit.
I just gotta say, Majorian is right. A lot of you people out there are posting ridiculous content, absolutely crazy, satanic, Luciferian, 666, New World Order, death of all Americans everywhere content. You should not be posting that. That is bad.
Smart. But we're not in that kind of gay civil war. We're in a war against the devil, and it's constant. It is a constant struggle between yourself and the devil, even. The great thing is, though, we have Jesus Christ on our side, and we've already won. All right? So when I say trust the plan, obviously, I have other plans. You know, I have tons of plans up in here. But I'm not just talking about those temporal plans. I'm talking about trusting in God's plan.
Here, Majorian was like, "Hey, City P, why are you just sandbagging me, man? Why are you doing this to me?" And then it turns out his plans are like, "Oh, they're in my head. Oh, I don't know where they are. They're in my head. Oh, I don't. Does anybody know where my head is? I must have left it somewhere." Thanks for not giving me the spicy details here, Majorian. You made me watch 40 minutes of a video just so I could not get spicy details.
That's what you need to do. And you need to stop just being men of words and become men of action and actually do things. Because you can just do things. My rant's over, guys. I'm sorry.
And that was it. That was the plan. The whole clip for the plan was that. I thought before we look at some absolutely retarded, unbelievably stupid, must be professional Catholic takes, we did not do Nick Carbongos. We will do that some other day when we finally edit through the Nick Carbongos supercut, which I'm not working on. I just have all his videos. We have one of my favorite commentators I used to listen to when I used to listen to political content, Dave Smith, the immortal libertarian crazy person. No, I'm not trusting the plan.
Like, now, while I don't agree with Charlie Kirk on his issues, you know, like, I don't care. There should be no qualifier whatsoever. Psychotic barbarians, like, who the thinks this is okay? And then to get into like, well, he wasn't for gun control, or well, he wasn't for this. It's like, okay, we're not having a political conversation right now. We're having a spiritual conversation, and you're possessed by the devil. You are evil. This is not a political debate anymore.
I have to agree with Dave Smith. If you're bringing politics into this, you're insane. And now we will listen to Kennedy Hall bring politics into this. Well, not yet. But, you know, another reaction we had was Mr. Lofton, who has threatened to sue people, to destroy them, to take their lives away from them. We're going to play about 5 seconds, because if we play any more than this, it is likely he will call the cops on us.
Ironically, Charlie Kirk shared the ideology of terrorism.
Charlie Kirk shared the ideals of terrorism because he tweeted that it wasn't fair that innocents were being killed in a genocide. Which everyone blames every single side, so, what does the tweet say? The deaths of women and children in Gaza are the faults of Hamas, not Israel, just like the deaths of Japan during World War II are the fault of Japan, not America. Charlie Kirk needs to get some history. America lured the Japanese into war. So you got to take blame there. When a government engages in unprovoked murderous aggression, they are to blame for everything that results. I didn't know Hamas was a government. Weird take. So we were trolling through the Twitters, and we discovered Christine Niles had an episode. And in this Christine Niles episode, she says some ridiculous stuff that was so good, we had to clip it. Forward boldly. This is the clip. Christine Niles says, you can't cherry pick the scriptures or the popes. We'll probably come to some point in this video where she is cherry picking scriptures and popes. That's right. We stand with Lofton, and we also laugh at his crash out, because standing with Lofton means that in 1 week, he will be crashing out.
But then you have the other extreme, the claims that you must be a card-carrying member of the Catholic Church in order to be saved, and that everybody else is definitely going to hell. And some of these people will cherry pick quotes from various popes or councils to try to prove this claim. But as any responsible Catholic knows, you can no more cherry pick the magisterium than you can cherry pick scripture.
You can no more cherry pick the magisterium than scripture, because we can't trust the magisterium. I've got to get it from a trusted source. Same with my scripture. Christine says, Lofton's crashing out almost as bad as Carbongo's. Where's the rising sun? Probably in the east, where the sun rises. I just thought that's a fantastic clip, because, if the Pope's infallible, when he teaches as the Pope, then you can just take it and it would always be right, because it's protected by the church, by the Spirit of God, in all the charisms and all the stuff that he just has. He just has all this stuff and it just protects him, but we can't do it. And in this clip, Saint Kirk, brother of Saint Harambe, patron saint of right-wing politicians. There's no comment here. I wonder what this is about.
Here's a tweet that's gained more than 2,000 shares. Let me read it to you. Martyrdom is an amazing force to behold. In my lifetime, I have never seen it until now.
Did you know that this person has never seen martyrdom? I have to suffer it on a daily basis. Every time I go to work, they're like, you've got to die to self and work for the company. And I'm like, no, I can't do it. And they're like, you're going to do it. And I'm like, oh, I did it. I was martyred for what I believed in. I was forced to go to work.
I've read about it, but I've never seen it in action. Truly an eye-opening event. Millions of hearts changed in a short amount of time. Evil exposed that has lurked in the shadows for decades.
Did you know the evil? We didn't even know that there was evil. Charlie Kirk had been doing this for 10 years, going onto campuses and being a jerk and being like, hey guys, why don't I rustle up some trouble? And the whole time, no one even knew why he was. There was no evil there. Evil was invented at the death of Charlie Kirk. It was lurking. No one knew where it was. And then it was invented by Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk started a movement to discover where evil was.
Hearts open.
What is this? Is this a sound? That's right. Until Charlie Kirk came along, we didn't even know that martyrdom could even exist. It took a man with a wife, a man with a really hot wife, a man whose wife won beauty contest, a man whose wife is now a girl boss, to discover what martyrdom was. And now let's get back to the show. We don't bring the wolf pack, we bring the wolf snack.
Opened in prayer. It's a force unto itself that catches like kindling, but can burn for decades. I would actually say it can burn for much longer than that, generations.
This is a blank screen. Why there's a blank screen here, no one knows. But there's a blank screen here. But did you know Charlie Kirk's death is going to burn for 30 years? For 30 years, Charlie Kirk will be uncovering the evils of our days. Thank you, Christine Niles.
Think about the witness of the early Christians who were martyred. The blood of the martyrs is the seed of the church. And I think that's what's happening with a lot of people all over the world. They saw this man assassinated in cold blood. Again, I'm not calling him technically a martyr. I'm not saying that. But still, the same principle applies. They saw it and they can't unsee it. And it has left so many people changed.
They didn't know that he wasn't a martyr. They just saw that he was martyred. And then he really wasn't a martyr, but like he's really like a martyr. And now he's just like ignited millions of people everywhere. Or it could have been the fact that the world has been struggling against, systemic leftism and communism for like 70 or 80 years now. And there's been a violent response to this in people's hearts and minds. They've been struggling against it, and now it's getting to a tipping point. And it's been, continuing to get to a tipping point for a long time. This isn't actually about Mr. Kirk. Maybe. Oh, in this clip, Christine prays to Carlos Acutis for her technological issues. Did you know? Do you want to make more money on StreamYards? Just pray to Carlos Acutis, patron saint of technology.
On a side note, I've been told that he's also very effective in interceding for you if you have problems with technical glitches with your laptop and various other things, that apparently praying to him and asking him to fix them is actually very efficacious. And I myself have experienced that, because believe me, when you work in a media nonprofit, you have to deal with all this technology and shooting and editing and all sorts of things, and things can go wrong. Glitches can happen that slow down your work and make things very frustrating. I have to turn to him quite a lot.
Unbelievable. I turn to Carlos Acutis and I say, Carlos, make this stream 1200 a resolution. Do it. Do it. It doesn't work. This is evidence he's a fake saint, or else I just have no faith. I mean, what kind of corny religion is this? Carlos, I pray that my downloads will go faster. Carlos, the downloads. Oh, the downloads. In this clip, women have visions and dreams.
But Carlo died offering his sufferings for the church, and the Pope died a very holy death. His mother, Antonia, claims that she had dreams back in 2006, before he died, in which she received messages from St. Francis indicating that Carlos would be very important for the church. And she didn't know what to make of those dreams at the time. She just thought, oh, well, maybe.
A woman had dreams, and these dreams that her son would die and become very important. Clearly, this was a prophecy that the internet was going to happen in 2006, before the internet came to Italy.
Carlo will be a priest one day, or something like that.
In this next clip, Acutis' mom has a vision that Carlos will die. And he did die! What? That means this vision is real! This is a 100% guaranteed real vision. Carlos will one day die at some point in time. If you're looking for proof that the Novus Ordo religion is the most based, this is it.
And she also had a vision where St. Francis predicted that he would die. And apparently his mother did not pay too much attention to that one, but that clearly became true. He did die.
He did die. Unbelievable. Like, how much more can you say about this? I had a vision I might die. Did you know that when I was a teenager, I had visions of dying all the time? It's called nightmares that you get after you hit puberty. All the time I had these visions. There was one where I was in a car and we were driving alongside the road, and an orca, like at 100 times bigger than a normal orca, but it wasn't orca, came out of the lake that was by the road and chomped us. And I was like, what? That's a vision. I'm going to die one day. I must be a living saint. Anyway, free sanctifying grace. There is so much sanctifying going on right now at the end of the world, where Catholic Christian tells us everyone's becoming Catholic because it's the end of the world. There's all this sanctifying grace going on everyone. Baptism. What even is baptism anymore? That's right. Free sanctifying grace. Be sanctified. Yo.
But here, this is what's very interesting. Another alleged message from St. Francis to his mother was this one, quote, when your son Carlo is canonized, Almighty God will fulfill.
Pontius Pilate's wife dreamed of Carlos, but she didn't bother to bring it up. Alleged vision of St. Francis. When your son Carlos is canonized, Almighty God will fulfill every prophecy.
Fill every prophecy and will send the Holy Spirit
on the face of the earth and touch every teenager in the world. Every single teenager is being touched at this moment.
On the face of the earth and touch every teenager in the world with sanctifying grace. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, it is interesting. Every teenager in the world just became Catholic because of Charlie Kirk. Every single one. They're all Catholics. Unbelievable. In this next clip, Carlos Acutis caused Charlie Kirk's martyrdom. What? You thought that I was making this up? No. Carlos Acutis caused the grace to touch the teenagers that pulled the gun, to make him a saint for the martyrdom, for the outpouring of grace on the entire world. Unbelievable. This is why you tune in, because only on the Sede Picante channel do you get the real truth of what happens, of things that people just won't tell you.
So Carlo was canonized on September 7th. 3 days later, Charles is the English form of Carlo. Carlo is the Spanish form of Charles. Charles was assassinated. And of course, now we see what can only be described as a massive outpouring of grace.
Massive outpouring of grace, assassination, same names. This is divine poetry right here. It's unfolding in real time. Incredible.
All over the world. A global movement of the Holy Spirit. And that is not exaggerating.
I need to listen to that again, because this is not exaggerating, okay? I want my audience to listen and understand this is 100% true. 100% of it.
And of course, now we see what can only be described as a massive outpouring of grace all over the world. A global movement of the Holy Spirit. And that is not exaggerating. It's affecting literally millions, and especially young people.
Unbelievable. We named this clip, someone said it on Twitter, therefore it's true. This is called hard-hitting journalism from Christine Niles. Are we live? Oh, we are live. Okay, 20 minutes. Okay.
And here's a tweet from Matt Von Swoll, who has more than 300,000 followers online.
300,000 followers? That's like hundreds and thousands of them. They couldn't all be fake. Senator Rand Paul has 6 million, so I don't know if that's just saying.
Quote, not a single dry eye in church today.
If you did not cry, you did not attend church. That's just how it works. Sorry. I don't know how to explain it to you. The outpouring of all the graces and all the teenagers is also a gift of tears, one of the 7 gifts of the great governing spirit. If you had dry eyes like Phil Gonzalez, we saw you, Phil. If you had dry eyes, your church attendance did not count.
I've received more messages in the past week about people choosing to go to church for the first time than ever before, and it's not even close. Something is stirring, and it's absolutely beautiful.
18,000 likes by the holy governing spirit. That just means it's the truth. Another one from Ryan Visconti. Hearing reports from across America. Notice she's not giving the viewer count for this one. Oh, what's this? This guy's got 10 subs. His little itty bitty account. She just found it and she's like, I'm just going to report on this because it goes along with the message I preordained. America and even the globe. Packed church services. Packed overflow seating. Parking lots full. Young men turning to God and receiving salvation through faith in Jesus. We don't want revenge. We want revival. Excuse me. We don't want revenge. We want revival. That sounds like some Protestantism. But you're not allowed to think for yourself. You must think that the great Kirk is a great saint. Something bad will happen, apparently, if you don't. I generally kind of ignore these things, but still, you can't look at this and not think something remarkable. You cannot look at this and think that something remarkable hasn't happened. You're not allowed to. Did you know this happens 30 times every day in Chicago? I mean, I generally kind of ignore these things, but still, you can't look at this and not think something remarkable is happening. What would Charlie do? That's the question. We can no longer be like, what would St. Paul do? What would, I don't even know, like, just what do other people even do? What would Charlie do? Make it go viral, hashtag, what would Charlie do? We need a campaign. So a question to ask ourselves. Do we model the same empathy and compassion? Do we model Christ's love to sinners? Or do we dehumanize them? Do we look down our noses in judgment at others and think we are better than they are? I definitely look down at people. Oh man, we're getting through these clips super fast. What do we want? Brian Holdsworth, Avoiding Babylon, or Kennedy Hall? Because those are the 3 next clips we have. You know what I really like? I really like Kennedy Hall. But Brian Holdsworth, he's really kind of middle. Does anybody have any? Who do we want? Who do we want next? Brian Hall or AB? Oh, there's one man here. He says Kennedy Hall next. I love Kennedy Hall. Kennedy Hall's pretty good. Oh, many Catholics seem to have forgotten that there is no salvation outside the Catholic Church. Yeah, even that Leo guy, he seems to have forgotten this too. It almost makes me think he's not a Catholic either. Since only one person commented, we are going with Kennedy Hall. And Kennedy Hall's video on Kirk's wife's video commentary thing. I wonder what this video is about. Canadians, yay. Play. Canadian brain rot. Play? Hello? It's not playing. There's something with the clip. I need to reload it. Close the tab. Close the tab. Probably have to close this one too.
One of the aspects, though, that I thought perhaps I could offer half-decent commentary was the part in the address where she got very serious and she basically said to the enemies of everything that her husband stood for, she looked very clearly at the camera and basically said to them, "You have no idea what you've done, what you've unleashed."
You have no idea what you've done. You just don't even know. You shot him, and you didn't even know like what's going on. Right-wing populism, by the way, Mrs. Kirk, has been a thing for ever since the end of World War II. It started in the 1950s. We're 75 years into a movement, and they just have no idea. I didn't even know that right-wing populism existed until Charlie Kirk died. Oh, I'm a political commentator. I have no idea this existed. This is the level of conversation we're at. We might as well be Protestants and just believe the Bible fell out of the sky. These people are this smart. Yeah, she has no idea. She was very serious. No way. Right after her husband bled out of hundreds of people. And he bled out too, and you could visibly see it. Oh, people bleeding out. That doesn't affect me at all. Oh. Even people who completely, I look like a madman. That's right. That's what I am. That's what this character is all about. The Valley of Madmen. That's where I live. In this clip, Kennedy does the left thing always leads to violence. Like, I don't even know why I say the left. I should just say the violence side does the violence thing. Great job, Kennedy Hall. Wave to having discovered that politics has been going on longer than you've been alive.
I hope that people can see that ultimately leftism is murderous, and not just in the extreme sense, but in the sense that,
by the way, I'm giving another try through to read this book, The Hideous Strength. Leftists in this book are murderous, and Kennedy Hall told me to read this, and this book was written, when was this book written? A long time ago? I don't even know where's the page. There's no preface. Where's the preface? I wonder when this book was written. That Hideous Strength. That Hideous Strength. Written when? 1945. So leftism as a violent thing in literature, which Kennedy Hall has read 70 years ago. 80 actually. 80 years ago this book was written. And Kennedy's read this book because he's told me to read it. And now he's finally coming to a leftism as violence? Oh, it's always been this way. Why doesn't he name it that way?
that ultimately leftism is murderous.
No.
And not just in the extreme sense, but in the sense that the underpinnings of how leftism requires people to think, it's always going to lead to violence.
Yes, but how does Kennedy understand the left?
They see, the communists and whatever, and they say, oh, they got kind of crazy.
The communists and the whatever? The progressives, the administrative anti-human complex, the technological administrative state? Hello? It's even in the book that he told me to read. The communists and whatever. Like, what even is this? My comment is the leftists, those communists, and I dare not speak about what the left is unless they hurt me, but I'm going to speak about the left. They're a bunch of violent people, but I can't say what they are. Then why are you talking? Let's continue on. In this clip, Mr. Hall gives the fundamental, does not understand what liberalism is, but seems to assert that leftism is liberalism. For those who do not understand, liberalism is from the French Revolution. Leftism is from the end of what's it called in America? The Great Depression. The Great Depression in America causes leftism. Liberalism is before leftism. They're different things. They fundamentally are two different realities, but we'll just pass over that. Fuente says it wasn't them, so I guess it wasn't. It probably wasn't, actually. It was probably the Ukrainian sniper team, which also shot at Trump, by the way. This is why you go get your news sources from other people with even spicier takes. Whew.
Whether it's quote-unquote extreme or not,
No.
it will always lead to murderous violence.
Even if the left is not extreme, it will always left will always lead to murderous violence. The right doesn't, and the right's all good. Like, if you do violence, you're automatically a leftist. Hello? Why is this comment up here? Get that comment off. Unbelievable. I can't say that word. Bullshit. Shelvism. Bull. You're saying bull on this stream. Christy, we don't curse on this stream. We don't curse on this stream. We're Catholics.
And the reason is because it's ultimately atheistic. It's atheistic. Liberalism as such is necessarily atheistic because liberalism is not about serving God. It's about serving man.
No, it's not about serving man either. In this clip, I got to explain this for a second, because Kennedy Hall never read the book on liberalism. Liberalism is the denial of all authority. That's all it is. That's what it means. They're not serving man. Serving man is working a job to help someone. These people. I can't even do this. Now, in this clip, if you do things for yourself, you worship Satan. Actually, I think I have no idea what Mr. Hall thinks, and I don't think Mr. Hall has no idea what Mr. Hall thinks, but we would like to go down and say, if you do anything first, if you dress yourself, feed yourself, take a shower, and you don't do it for someone else, then you're literally worshiping Satan. Like, I'm doing this stream for you guys. That's how come I'm not worshiping Satan right now. I'm doing this for you guys, not for myself. I could be playing video games for myself, but instead I'm doing this for you guys.
Is the thing that is the arbiter of things like good and evil, ultimately. Then you're your own God. And when you worship yourself, you become Satan. That's what Satan is. That's who Satan is. He worships himself. And liberalism is satanic in that sense.
I'm still so confused as what he thinks liberalism is and worshiping self and doing things for the self is. Anyway, in this clip, Kennedy ad-libs from his notes, and just wait. And it's just what you expect. All leftists are atheists, but some aren't, but all are. This always happens. Whenever Kennedy goes off script, he just says, like, all guns result in violence. No left results in violence. But if a right guy owns a gun, even if he's kind of a leftist right guy, he's still actually a right guy. And then because he's a right guy, then the gun didn't count as violence. Because then it's only when a left guy does it is the violence. And just play the clip.
Atheism is the fundamental principle of leftism. Sure, there are people with left-wing political ideas, or loosely called left-wing political ideas, who certainly believe in God. And what that individual may believe in their heart, I have no idea. But as a general principle.
I have no idea what they believe in their heart. Just a general principle. Fill in the blanks for me, because I can't tell you what to believe because I don't know. And Kennedy has no idea what he's talking about. And if you serve a person food to a person, you're probably an atheist. Well, man, when Sadie P was writing these comments for this video that he's clipping, he certainly was in a bad mood.
Since every leftist essentially is the arbiter of their own morality,
Since every leftist arbitrates their own morality, I don't know where he got that from, but, let's just go with it.
or the arbiter of their own philosophy of life,
Or they're the arbiters of their own philosophy of life. Literally every single philosophy student is a leftist now, okay?
because it's about the individual rather than serving the individual person rather than serving the
Since it's about serving the individual person, and how are you tuning in on chat while rifling with your helmet on? Unbelievable.
personal God.
Wait, where is this? I need to listen to this again.
Because it's about the individual rather
Uh-huh.
than serving the individual person rather than serving the personal God.
You're required to serve the individual. You are literally required to serve the individual in this life. Like, what is this supposed to be? The leftist served me food instead of serving it to God. Like, does Kennedy Hall leave his house? I don't even know. So much for working for the fellow man. In this clip, yay! Yay, everyone! I know it's Phil. I know that's the way Kennedy Hall actually posts. He's like, guys, just fill in the blanks for me, guys. I don't, just kind of sort of like, violence is bad. I think. I mean, you fill in when it's bad and when it's good, but I just kind of think it is. Okay.
I remember, and I don't want to make this about myself because I don't like it when people use tragedies to make things about
I don't like it when I have to make things about myself on my own show. I don't, but I'm going to do it anyway.
themselves. But not hating Donald Trump was associated with Christians who were serious about their faith and actually conservative in the moral sense.
Not hating Donald Trump was associated with right-wing Christians. I've been reading some Rothbard lately, and Rothbard said in 1992, 27 years ago, 33 years ago, Rothbard said the same thing about David Duke, the governor, and his governor run in Louisiana. There is nothing new here, just Kennedy Hall is ignorant. You can't support Trump. You're crazy. You're crazy. You can't support David Duke. You're crazy. This has been a thing that's been going on since the end of World War II. Sede Picante used to love studying this stuff 10 years ago until he realized that it was just wasting his time. Ooh. A body in the closet. Oh, yes. In this clip, leftism killed, therefore they killed Kirk. Leftism, therefore they killed Kirk. Somehow that makes sense to someone.
And men like Charlie Kirk, and he really was head and shoulders above the rest in so many ways, as far as his courage and his eloquence of speech. He really was an inspiring man. And they killed him. Why? Because leftism can't win an argument. So
They killed him because leftism can't win an argument. Really? How do you know leftists killed him anyway? Like, you just assuming leftism, therefore leftism did it. Did someone die? Oh, boom, brrr, bang, bang, bang. Oh, there was a shooting in Ohio over the drug cartel. It must have been leftists. I tell you, those leftists in Ohio. Oh no, there's gun violence. 6 years ago, I want to say, in the city next to the Sede Picante's one. Oh no, someone got shot. Brrr. Oh, it must have been leftists. It's always a leftist and never a rightist. It's like Do you live in reality, Kennedy Hall?
Above the rest in so many ways, as far as his courage and his eloquence of speech. He really was an inspiring man.
By the way, he wasn't an inspiring person at all. If you've actually listened to him and the topics he's actually debating, he's just smarter than his enemies. Like, I can't stand listening to stuff. He's like, hey, did you know you shouldn't murder people? You're like, what? No way. I can't murder my babies? No. What would I do? And Kirk's like, yeah, man, you shouldn't murder. Murder's pretty wrong. The person's like, no. What Kirk actually has is a ton of patience. It's not he's eloquent, he's well-spoken, he's smart. He has an infinite amount of patience. There's no way, even like, I know he's a 100-millionaire guy and he had all these backers that were giving him millions and millions and millions of dollars. But like, talking to insane freaking liberals for a job, please, I'd rather fold sheets. I'd rather earn no money and have a pointless life. Oh, this is horrible.
And they killed him.
It was the North Koreans. Yes, it was. Thank you.
Why? Because leftism can't win an argument. So leftism has to kill those who disagree with it.
Yes. Every time you win an argument, be careful. You might get killed by leftism. In this clip, Kennedy gets close, but one randomly close hit does not actually capture what is going on. Sede Picante probably shouldn't have included this clip.
Communism is leftism par excellence.
Communism is leftism. Communism is a leftist idea, that is true, but in America, it's American socialism, which is fundamentally different than communism, which is Russian socialism, which is fundamentally different than Chinese socialism. They're all totalitarian, but they're different. So saying it's communism, yeah, I'm a communist and I'm going to State University, bang, bang, bang. Like, hello? Is that what's happening in China? I mean, in Canada?
Stalin was a leftist, like he was made in a leftist factory. And they all do it. Every single one of them.
Every single one of them. Every single one of them does it. What are we even talking about? In this clip, Kennedy says nothing and backs off of saying anything in a video where he says things. Did you get that? I didn't get that. I'm listening to Kennedy Hahn. He'll be like, I don't want to say that all leftists are or evil people, followed by, I think all leftists is evil. You can't be a leftist and not be an evil person. And he says, like, make it up as you go. Let's listen.
So someone with a heavy hand has to come in and sort things out. Otherwise, the gig is up. Personally, I believe that's sort of the trajectory that we're on. I'm not making any predictions. I'm not saying any strong man is going to arise in America. I don't even know if that's possible. But I think in spirit, I think it's happening.
Okay, let's get this right. There's so many problems. We need a strong man, aka a dictator, a totalitarian. And it's not going to happen, but I think it's going to happen. And I think it might not ever happen in America, but that's the direction we're going in. How many times? Well, I need to listen to this clip again.
Leftist, like he was made in a leftist factory. And they all do it. Every single one of them.
Okay, here we go.
Things out. Otherwise, someone with a heavy hand has to come in and sort things out.
Someone with a heavy hand has to come in and sort things out. Totalitarianism, let's go.
Otherwise, the gig is up.
Otherwise, the gig is up. Why don't we just have the gig being up then? Let's just dissolve the country. Every 50 states becomes its own country. I'm in California, 7th biggest economy in the world or something. We win, you all lose.
Personally, I believe that's sort of the trajectory that we're on. I'm not making any predictions.
I'm not making predictions. I'm not predicting that this is going to happen, but this is what is going to happen. We're on the trajectory, meaning this thing is going to happen, but I'm not saying it's going to happen. Okay? Just so we're sure. Like, if you have a leftist with a gun pointing it at you, yes, I'm not saying that leftists have guns, or that current one who is a leftist and has a gun is actually having a gun and is a leftist, and he is right there. But I'm not saying that he is. It just couldn't be, and could be at the same time.
I'm not saying any strong.
I'm not saying any strong man
is going to arise in America. I don't even know if that's possible.
He doesn't even know if it's possible, but it's the trajectory we're on.
But I think in spirit, I think it's happening.
But in spirit, it is happening. But in reality, it's not happening. The trajectory is this thing is going to happen, but we don't think this thing is physically possible to happen. But it's spiritually happening, but it's not really happening. This is like my love life. In this clip, Mr. Hall says the leftists can't handle conservatives who aren't scared.
And the leftists can't have that because they know that when the inertia of sane, moral...
Is this the correct use of the word inertia? Where do I donate? You don't get to donate. If you donate, then Jihan gets unblocked because he's going to donate and be like, give me, unblock me. I give money. Sadie Picante wants money. And then I will be completely defeated. Anyway, let's get back to the video.
Because they know that when the inertia of sane, moral thinking people gets to the point where they have to start firing bullets, they know that they've lost.
When the normal people start to fire bullets, the leftists will have lost. So the leftists always fire bullets, but when they fire bullets, they lose. But also when they lose, they also fire bullets. I don't know what he's trying to say. Kennedy Hall, get an editor, please. Yay! I actually don't have him blocked on here. But don't let him know because I have him blocked on Twitter. Therefore, he's supposed to feel like he's blocked. Therefore, his emotions are filled with anger. Yes. I have no idea what we're talking about because the right-wing people always have this thing, oh, don't scare the right, man. We're the tough people. We're like, do plumbing? Like, have you heard of plumbing? Like, when the water comes on, like, we're the ones who lay down the sewer pipes, which would make Sadie Picante a right-wing person all of a sudden, but, you know, because we had to do that job recently. Anyway. I know, right? In this clip, the Marxists won, then they lost, then they won again, then they lost again. What world is Kennedy living in?
The satanic Marxist forces at the turn of the last century.
I've blocked Phil and Grover. Those are the two people I blocked recently. I blocked Tommy for a second just because I needed to create some distance because sometimes things get too close for me. I like distance. I'm a recluse. I'm not antisocial. I'm a recluse. Jihan, learn the difference. Anyway, let's get back to the video.
The satanic Marxist forces at the turn of the last century, they went all in. And they turned it into an absolutist, dictatorial, murderous regime type of system. After that failed, they said we have to basically change our tactics, and we have to, instead of trying to get people into these sort of Joseph Stalin type movements, we need to get them into this type of subtle indoctrination and infiltration of the various institutions to turn people into atheistic thinkers who will then be much more easily governed.
Okay, so in the fantasy world of Kennedy Hall, the university turns you into an atheist, so then you'll become stupid. That's not what happens. What actually happens is the universities are trying to create the technocrats to run the system. And the model they're using has man at the top and not God. So they have to create a man-based economic model run by technocrats. Now, that is scientifically, philosophically impossible to do. That was the whole point of the Austrians and Mises talking about the social calculation issue. It's physically impossible for them. And it was so impossible for them, the Russians had to use the Sears catalog and the Western world to understand how to balance their economies because they couldn't do it. The technocratic state is not here to destroy you. It's here to control every single facet of your life. That means you can't be a traditional Catholic because traditional Catholics are rebellious. That's what it means. Traditional Catholicism does not fit into the framework, not because they're atheists. It doesn't fit into the framework because in traditional Catholicism, you have dynamic individuality. That's why Augustine says our hearts are restless until they find you. Every individual person has to find that. And that might be doing something insane like being a monk. A monk does not contribute to society. He does not contribute to the technocrat. He does not contribute to the atheistic universities. That's why they're not a part of the system. That's why there's this friction. And this has been going on since 1933 when this system started in America. Anyway, in this fantasy world Mr. Hall is making, Kirk is a brave person, even though Milo, Ben Shapiro, Steven Crowder all did the same thing fighting 20-year-olds 10 years ago. Everyone was doing this. So I don't know, like, all of a sudden, oh, but Harambe did it the best. Like, what, huh? No, he didn't.
But every once in a while, a man like Charlie Kirk or others who has unstoppable courage, who has a certain type of constitution as an individual where he just won't back down, those men will always rise to the top, because when they're in that battle of ideas, the truth itself is so beautiful. Clear thinking is so beautiful that it's attractive.
It's attractive, like women's legs, clear thinking, and the truth. It's unbelievable. Like, what is this supposed to be? Why do people always do this? This is like one of the biggest things. The truth is just going to win because the truth is just amazing. So when Pat Buchanan said the truth in 3 different presidential runs, guess what? People were like, oh, the truth isn't pretty enough for me. I need some more prettiness in this truth. I just don't, like, I could kind of care about it, but like, I need more truth and prettiness. Like, what is he talking about? This is like when you go into the store, right? You go into the store and you're like, oh, look at the strawberries are 99 cents. You're like, boom, wow, the strawberries are 99 cents. And you're like, hey, honey, should we get some strawberries in 99 cents? And you look at them and you're like, look a little old here. But you're like, wow, look at the advertisement. It's 99 cents. I just gotta have some. Yeah, it doesn't always work. Like, truth is nice. Wow, fantastic. Okay, it didn't work. Okay, go next. It's not like you can't own liberals. Liberals are like, guys, we should all be allowed to do this stupid thing, like get really high and like completely destroy our bodies. And then Charlie Kirk is like, maybe you're a thinking being and you shouldn't completely destroy your body. Wait, that wasn't the wolf? Do you love strawberries? Best fruit of all time. Some people say maple syrup's good. I don't. I say mash those strawberries down to a liquid. Pour them over your hamburgers and eat them. It's the best hamburger you'll ever have. Because it is. Anyway, let's get back to the show. The right-wing media, the right-wing alternative media is truth. That's the name of this clip. Pat Buchanan called and said, tried for 20 years. Rothbard tried. Well, so part of my comments on this is the right wing has been always saying the truth since Goldwater in 64. The right wing has been consistently telling the truth. And guess what? Ain't nothing changed. Just moving to the right a little bit more. So, like, again, how many years we are doing this stupid culture
If you
war?
just keep talking, if you just try to win arguments, eventually the good guys are going to prevail. If you just try to win arguments, eventually the good guys are going to prevail.
Oh,
The good guys will prevail.
oh. Haven't we had arguments with the Novus Ordo religion since 69 by like Lefebvre and everyone? And like, oh, the good guys will win. When are they going to prevail? All right. Charlie Kirk was a professional speaker. That was his job, not his vocation. A strongman is a leftist concept, as he is the one with the plan. What? Is Kennedy Hall supporting leftism? Unbelievable. Yay.
The Charlie Kirk type person resonates internationally because he represents somebody who's willing to literally risk his life to stand up for God and country and so forth. And that is infectious.
It is?
I do have hope that that type of person will be the archetype of the strong man who will arise.
The archetype of the strong man who will arise. A bleeding heart leftist. Okay, I have seen weird things happen before. Why don't we do Avoiding Babylon next? Because this is a 4-minute clip, and this is fantastic. This is gonna fantastic. Okay, in this clip, Rob and Ant react to Kirk's wife response video. By the way, did anybody find the wife's response video, which I have not watched because I have no interest in watching the wife of someone who was brutally murdered come out and thank people for the fact that her husband was brutally murdered? Like, why would I watch that? It's not for me. But these two emotional, I don't know what they're. These two children. But I hate calling adults children because it's obviously not true. But these two emotionally stunted individuals, man. Kirk's wife's response video, which he gave the day after her husband was brutally murdered. Jacqueline Kennedy waited 53 days. It sounds like she could have waited a week before this happened, and then they made her CEO of the company afterwards too. The 2 days later, after she gives her speech, so her husband dies, day off, becomes CEO. Like, well, this woman's getting promotions through the roof. All of a sudden, she's become a celebrity. It makes me wonder, like, how much this relationship looks really, really weird. Really weird to me. Ant doesn't think his wife could have done it because Ant's wife is a normal person.
Man, you think of that like we were affected by that video. We saw this poor woman was there. She was there with him. Like how, oh man, I don't think my wife could have done that.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. How about some respect for the dead? Why are you doing this 2 days? 1 day? I don't know how many days after. Our friend Candlestick says 2. I thought it was the day after. But anyway. At least a week. At least a week. Like my dad got in an accident and I was immediately like calm, cool, and collected and took care of it. He might have died, but he lived through it. This happened like 5 years ago. And then when I didn't have to take care of him anymore, I just mentally collapsed for like 4 hours and just sat there dumbfounded by everything. And this was just like a flesh wound, right? He didn't die. He didn't get brutally murdered publicly. If he had been, do you think I would just recovered within a week? No, I'd probably to this day, years later, would still be like completely wrecked about it. Because that's what normal relationships happen to you. Anyway, let's just continue on. This is normal. This is all normal. And in this clip, Rob says the only thing Lofton has done is to blank on his memory.
A day after her husband was murdered before everybody.
A day after her husband. Oh, I put the same exact clip up.
That's the only thing Michael Lofton has done since that woman lost her husband. Memory.
Of course he does. They both think they're celebrities. They get 500 views, live viewers, and that's pretty good for them. That pretty much makes them a celebrity. So the only thing Michael Lofton has ever done is just been completely awful because he doesn't share exactly what Rob thinks. Now, that's not entirely true, but you know who cares? Rob is in his feelings. And when you're in your feelings are God. Yes, that's right. Two-Ton Rob's feelings are his God. Just whenever you see anything that Two-Ton Rob does on Twitter, think, these are his feelings speaking. And it works for every single tweet he does. Well, at least for like 80% of them. 80% of all his tweets is just his big fat feelings thinking. It's amazing. It's actually like amazing. Yes, Lofton is a wicked man, but you know. I know. Abato and self-censoring. But anyway, in this clip, Rob is blocking people because it's important that he cry publicly on a comedy podcast. Did you know the Avoiding Babylon is a comedy podcast? It's purely entertainment. It's commentary. It's like what we're doing here.
And even the people in the comments saying he was a Zionist, he was this and that, like,
Yeah, they're blocked.
No, like,
yeah, they're blocked. That's right. You're blocked. On my comedy podcast, we're just blocking people. Why did you go live to discuss something that would emotionally wreck you, the podcaster, if you just had to block everyone because of it? Isn't it the most obvious reaction? You're both on Twitter. You both saw it. That was what the commenters were going to be saying. All of a sudden, I didn't even know the commenters were going to say things that were being said by everybody on Twitter. This is like when you go to the little sign with the person with the stop sign at the roadwork area, and you're like, there's not even going to be a person there. Like, come on, there's never a person there. They're always out eating lunch, and you don't slow down, and all of a sudden there's a person there, and you got to wait 10 minutes. But there never was a person there because I didn't want there to be a person there, even though it said there was a person there. Why is this happening? Anyway, in this clip, Rob is practically crying, so he's just going to turn and blame his audience because he's crying on a comedy podcast because his feelings got hurt. Don't do the podcast if you're not capable of doing the podcast. Two-Ton Rob. Yay.
Until you've gotten up in front of crowds every day for a decade talking about Jesus, maybe just shut your mouth.
Yeah, until you've been doing this, like until you've been wearing a hat and sunglasses and a Steubenville household sweatshirt. You don't even have the right to comment in my chat. You just don't have the right. If you don't have a muscle cage thing with a bar and then like weights right there and a picture of all the popes there. Like, you don't even get to be a person. Like guitars, you don't even have guitars in your background. Are you even alive? Oh, you're insane. What a big baby. Until you've walked 1,000 miles. Charlie Cook shit. It's not even performative and funny. This is my comedy bit. You're all bitches. Wow. Great job, Rob. Slam poetry, Rob, man. Dude, get out of your feelings. Okay, I had the rant at 104. That's
crowds every day for a decade talking about Jesus, maybe just shut your mouth.
Hey, Catholic Crusader films. Hey, just shut your mouth until you've gotten hundreds of millions of dollars doing a job where you talk to retarded people about right-wing generical politics that have been all spelled out for 30 years before you even started. Just shut up, because you're not a person. You don't have any rights or dignity unless you're appealing to my emotions. It's like, oh my goodness. I know. I couldn't. I honestly, I could not bear. I would not be able to watch that for two reasons. One, I don't believe it's real. Two, I don't think she should have done it. I thought that was so gross. So gross. She gave that speech. I'm offended as a human being that she gave that speech. Have some time to let people weep, man. It was so freaking offensive. Anyway, yeah, unless you've been gay for 10 years, don't call anyone gay. Nick Carbongos can't call anyone gay then.
Maybe just shut your mouth and think about that and have a little freaking humility.
Yeah, you should have some freaking humility because you didn't get paid millions of dollars to talk to pro-abortionists. I gotta watch this clip again. This is fantastic. He's so hurt.
Every day for a decade talking about Jesus. Maybe just shut your mouth. Maybe just shut your mouth and think about that and have a little freaking humility.
So when Bishop Sanborn's been talking about Jesus for 50 years, I guess everyone should just never ever talk. You should just only let him talk. I mean, if we're going to be serious, then like neither of these two, Anthony shouldn't talk at all. He's only been a Catholic for 8 years. He hasn't been a Catholic for 10 years, talking to hundreds and thousands of millions of people, getting paid millions of dollars, having a big fat paycheck. Like, okay. Have some freaking humility, man. Hey, Commodus, why don't you have some freaking humility? No. Don't say you're offended until you've been offended for 10 years. No.
And just like empathy, like this woman just lost her husband. Like, what are you going to do? You want to sit there and you want to critique all this stuff? Like, just stop.
No, I do agree with Anthony there. Like, you should really have a lot more empathy. But the problem is like, you went out and made a public spectacle of yourself. Now we all get to talk about it because you did that. It's like, you shouldn't have done that. That was really stupid. That was like professional retarded level of stupid. Like all the kudos in the world to Mrs. Kirk there for being able to do it, but I still think you shouldn't have done that. I think that was objectively a really, 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 really stupid thing to do. And I think it was a really, 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 really stupid thing for two grown men who wanted to cry in a podcast, a comedy podcast, to cover it. Like, hey, for the content, we're going to get some content that makes everybody in our chat hate us, that we're just going to ban them all because we're going to show our chat who's the boss. Oh, okay. Sounds like a psycho. In this clip, what's coming for us is coming for us. And if it's coming for us and it's coming for us, then that means it's coming for us. And it's also coming for us. Yes.
And none of it matters anyways.
Until a priest is married, don't talk about marriage to me.
Because what's coming for us is what is coming for us. And if we're not ready for that, if all we do is bitch and complain about, oh, he was a Zionist, or no, he wasn't, and that's why Israel killed him, I don't care. The left is coming for us. All of them.
Let's listen to that again.
Coming for us.
They're coming for us. All the leftists are coming for us. They are coming out for kill us all. They're coming, and if you don't know they're coming, they're still coming. And if they came out, like, what the heck? Get out of your feelings. Do you think that Rob every single day, like, looks out his house with these guys? He's like, cock, oh. Coach, come on, get in the car. Then they're in the car. Everyone seatbelts up, and they're like buckling in. Buckle. Buckle, put their headgears on, like, we gotta go because these leftist road workers are coming for us. And then, like, they go to that market and he's like, don't buy the first milk, it's poison. They're coming for us, honey. They're coming for us. Like, and like, no, he's moving things, putting them back. And he's like, oh, opens the first can of beer, pours it out. He's like, they're coming for us. We gotta be 100% certain. Oh, by the way, Leo's the actual Catholic Pope, and everything he says is infallible, but I don't follow it. Like, there's nothing wrong there, but all these leftists, like, this guy is the biggest tin. We should get the epic pen out. We need to get the epic pen. I'm sorry. We need to draw on their faces. I know they're offended. I know they're offended. But tinfoil hat, man, they're coming for us.
What's coming for us is what is coming for us. And if we're not ready for that, if all we do is bitch and complain about, oh, he was a Zionist, or no, he wasn't, and that's why Israel killed him, I don't care. The left is coming for us. All of them.
All of the left are coming for him. By the way, he lives in Minnesota, so that's more true than in most places in America. But like, in this clip, they could have turned off the chat. Did you know? I don't have to see the chat. I can literally podcast without seeing the chat. Okay? Just to let you know, the way StreamYards works, I don't have to see the chat. Here, let me show you. There's no chat on the stream. Oh, look at now there's a chat. Now there's not a chat. Now there's a chat. Now there's not a chat. They're purposely looking at the chat and getting triggered. These are grown men. This is like something Sede Picante does because he's retarded. And like these guys are children. I can't believe this. They're so dumb. I love it. I love it. These guys are awesome.
People are just like so jaded from the internet. So jaded from the internet, and you think it's like it's always time to like roast the like. Come on, guys, have a little bit of empathy for a woman who's going through hell right now.
Yeah, and be an adult and turn the chat off. It's very simple. Anyway, in this clip, they're coming for us. The left. The left is. Did you guys know that the left is always coming for us? Was Rob married to Kirk? I don't get why he's so emotional and online. I don't care twice as much as he doesn't care. I think I don't have the Twitter. I don't have the YouTube censored. Because you can set words to be banned. So if you say the word won't show up and your chat won't show up. But YouTube itself also gets rid of some words. So sometimes you can see words in the StreamYards, which is the little picture in the bottom right on the screen. But then you look in the chat and it won't be there, right? This kind of thing does happen. So because sometimes YouTube itself is banning things and sometimes StreamYard does this. So I don't know. Yeah, no, it's a haul of videos.
Here's the thing. When the left does really come for us,
when it does, yes.
I fully expect those same people to find crazy ass excuses as to why they can't stand with us then at that point too. They will. They'll find a reason. We weren't Catholic enough.
No, I literally cried for that for 2 hours. I was in here and I thought I saw that he had a family and I cried my eyes out too. That's why I didn't say anything online. Like I literally didn't even tell my parents that he was shot until like hours afterwards. Because it was too emotionally jerking. But like when you're a podcaster and you're now days after the fact, 2 days after the fact, you need to have a little bit more composure. Like just don't go online. Don't be like, guys, I'm online and I'm crying. Boy, am I crying because I'm sad. I'm sad that someone else's father died. Was he your father? Why did you make this about yourself? That's the whole problem. The whole problem I have is that these people make everything about themselves.
Find a reason. We weren't Catholic enough, or we're now Israeli cucks too. They'll find some reason.
Yeah,
they're the kind that go run and hide. Like one of.
Yay! I felt it. Yay! This chat is so dead.
The comment said, like, that very well might be the speech that literally converts a generation.
That might literally be the speech that converts a generation. An unhinged woman who's probably bawling her eyes out might be the speech that changes the world. A woman who fell away from the faith, from what I read, and was coming back in. A woman who went up and down. A hot supermodel who exposed her body for the whole world to see. She's going to be the one who gives us the speech that wins the West. Maybe. But maybe you guys are just in your feelings. Like, maybe you didn't need to be doing this episode, retards. By the way, during this area, this 10 minutes, Abate does 80% of the talking, and I clipped out pretty much only the parts where Rob talks. And Abate would be like, yeah, let's have some empathy. This is really tough. That's tragic that 2 daughters lost their dad. Or it was a boy and a girl, I forget. It's completely tragic. That's completely awful. And then like Rob will come and say, the left is coming to kill us all. Did you know the left is coming to kill us all? And then Anthony will go, yeah, man. I mean, this stuff is tough. Like, I can't imagine how I would do this. And then Anthony would say it for 1 more minute. Then Rob would come on and say, did you know the left is coming to kill us? Like, why is Rob on this show? Anthony's the most retarded, talented podcaster I've ever seen. He's literally so stupid he can't figure out this guy needs to go. Like Anthony, this guy has to go. The whole thing, this guy has to go. This guy has to go. No more Rob. Only Anthony. Only Anthony. I left this way too much. Oh my goodness. Let's continue on. In this clip, you've heard of Plato. What about Shakespeare or the wife of Kirk? The greatest orators of the entire world.
I said it on Twitter like an hour before the speech, but like it almost felt like it could be one of those events out of antiquity, like Antony, giving the funeral speech for Caesar.
Did you know that Charlie Kirk's wife is one of the greatest figures who's ever lived? Ever. In the entire... There's like Shakespeare, Plato, Thomas Aquinas, Charlie Kirk's wife. Like, how retarded and in your feelings do you got to be? How narcissistic? I'm a celebrity. I'm in a podcast, a comedy podcast where I cry and ban people. Like, I mean, how gay can you be? Like, Rob is... The levels of gayness that Rob is at right now, I'm surprised he doesn't shoot someone. Have we blasphemed the church yet? Rob, can you help us with blasphemy? Because if Rob doesn't blaspheme every episode, it's not an Avoiding Babylon episode.
But if you think about it, with as broken as the church is right now, it is what it offers to the world quietly and hiddenly, as it is right now, with it being so broken, is still so attractive to the youth that it is converting a generation, at least the men in a generation.
Yeah.
Imagine what it could do if we could figure the church out, if we could fix the church.
Imagine what the Catholic Church would do if the Catholic Church actually was the spotless, pure, perfect bride of Christ, unsullied in her laws and sacraments. Just imagine that. You see, the semi-trads have this thing where they've got to put themselves on the cross for some reason. Like, there's the good thief, there's Christ, and then there's Catholic podcasters, apparently. I don't know how this works in their head. And like they're suffering, but like, I don't know, maybe they're projecting themselves on a wall. They put up a slide projector and they're like just projecting themselves up on the wall. Like, yeah, I'm with you. I'm suffering so badly, guys. And like, oh, look at me. I'm there. I'm photoshopping myself into all the pictures with the crucifixion. Like, no, the church didn't change just because Francis or Leo was the Pope. The church remains the church. Christ remains Christ. It's clear in the Bible. God cannot deny himself because he's perfect and continues in perpetuity forever. And then they're like, but the church is shadowed in darkness. Like, well, then, I mean, go look at the 1800s. Go look at the 1800s when the whole French church was completely dominated by their government. Completely. One of the second biggest Catholic populations in Europe was completely dominated by their government. And they go tell me, oh, these times are especially bad. According to these guys, there's 1.4 billion Catholics. But if we could just figure out the church, it's like, yeah, you could just figure that out. Yeah. It's insane. Let's fix the church, man. I can't. Yes, Rob is going to be the next martyr. He's a podcast martyr. You've heard of red martyrdom and white martyrdom. Now we've got a new color of martyrdom, the podcast martyrdom. Now Ant is going to say Trad Inc. is dead. Meanwhile, he's a main character in it.
Under Francis, there was this excitement, and people always wanted to consume.
We had a clear enemy to unite against.
Right. And that
Under Francis, there was this excitement. We had a clear enemy to unite against. The clear enemy is the head of the pure, spotless bride of Christ. Does this make any sense to anyone? Like, well, this is ridiculous. This is like children. Like, we have to fight against our father. He didn't let us eat candy till our teeth rotted out. We have to fight against the pure evil of our daddy. Oh my goodness. Ooh, Saint Charlie Kirk. That would be fantastic. I hope Leo does that, because that would be the greatest thing ever.
that whole dynamic is different under Leo. It just is. People are just kind of done with it. Leo's not going to come out with some crazy statement that's going to fire up the laity. So there isn't really this Trad Inc. plays. Like, everybody thinks it's about money. There's no money left in Trad Catholicism. Like,
there's no money left in Trad Catholicism. You know, Charlie Kirk was a millionaire for doing a campus event. He was a literal millionaire. He had millions of dollars. I guess the money went somewhere else. There's no money here anymore. Okay, pack it up. Pack it up, boys. We're all done here. Anthony should just become a Sadie then, because there's no money in it anymore. There's no reason to not join.
it's kind of a dead.
It's kind of a dead. I have no idea what was going on in Detroit, actually. All right, we only have 2 minutes left of content. We're done. We'll be out of here in an hour and a half. I have no idea what went on in Detroit. Everyone seemed really excited about it, but I have no idea. 12 million stalling cast. Play. They said, "Oh no, Charlie Kirk is dead. The end of the world is nigh." But instead, everyone just went to heaven for free. Unbelievable. This is how we know Charlie Kirk was not the Antichrist. Because you know. That was a terrible rant. Anyway. Dun, da, da, put it on the screen, put it on the screen, put it on the screen. Oh, no. Actually, all he ever talks about is what a good podcast he has. He's like, guys, did you know that our podcast is the best podcast ever? You know, our chat is the best chat ever. Our local party is the best party ever, guys. And then, like, they're doing another stream, like, we had to ban half of our chat because they were so stupid. And then the next week, they're like, guys, did you see how great the chat is? By the way, I also gave him a super chat in that live stream because I muted it when Charlie Kirk's wife was speaking because I didn't care to listen to that. This has nothing to do with me. Like, I don't have a relationship with someone else's husband. There's nothing to do with me in that relationship. I'm not a conservative, so I don't care. I think it's horrible. I think that we should all have some mercy and some empathy and some sympathy for them. But, like, what does it have to do with me? Sorry, it's not a worldwide movement to me because I'm not in that group. So I sent him a needling super chat afterwards, and they weren't even reading super chats. They were like so broken. Oh, we just got to sit here and be miserable for 6 minutes while we emotionally recover from hearing a woman talk. Next day, Anthony's going to be on Twitter going, "Hey, look at this, a stupid woman talking. A stupid woman talking, guys." And then his memory goes back, "No, but there was that one woman when she talked. I was like, oh, it's as if the world was coming to an end, and the Holy Spirit and the God and the church and, oh, my country." Next day, hey guys, a boat sank. I like boats. Hey, look, there's another stupid woman driver. Like, oh my goodness. Anyway, imagine attacking your wife in a Charlie Kirk episode. Brian Holdsworth has no chill.
If you aren't terminally online, like the kind of person that my wife is, it may surprise you.
If you aren't terminally online, like that's the type of person my wife is, oh wait, you started off your episode by throwing your wife under the bus? Insane. Prominent, respectable people have been attacking Charlie Kirk, saying it's a good thing. These despicable, antisocial sociopaths. My life is a debilitating, life-threatening disease, but he came up with a webpage and I have $1 million with no clue on how to spend it. Oh, wait. Wonder what that has to do with anything. Let's go up to see any other Trisha comments to see if there's context for that. Apparently becoming a saint. Yeah. The CMRI had a kid who pretty much did a similar thing. But that had Bishop Pivarunas who spoke about it instead of like his mom speaking about it. Like Bishop Pivarunas was talking about how this, because it was on the Catholic Family podcast. There's one kid had a terminal illness and he was like, I'm going to get to go play baseball, right, Mom? And he would be pranking people in the hospital. It was actually a really cool story. Anyway, prominent, respectable people have been attacking Charlie Kirk's murder event.
The horrific murder of Charlie Kirk, but actually celebrating it. And I'm not just talking about random anonymous trolls and basement dwellers. I'm talking about prominent, respectable people.
Prominent people. So like, I mean, Barack Obama, respectable people. Did you know Gavin Newsom said this was bad and so did Barack Obama? But you know, who are these people who are like prominent and respectable?
So, for example, Stephen King, one of the most high-profile authors in the world.
Isn't Stephen King the brother of Stephen Hawking? Just wondering. Has anybody read a book by Stephen King? I literally haven't. So I guess Brian Holdsworth reads secular books. Like, why would we care? Is he a Catholic? Is he something that I would interact with? Is he a politician? Does he have authority over me? No, he's a psycho leftist who hates right-wing people. So guess what? Oh, psycho leftist hates right-wing people. What did he do? Oh, he hated right-wing people. What? No way! Like, what did you expect him to do? Like, this is the biggest cry-bullying nonsense ever. Like, why is this so acceptable for these people? I need bigger dust line. That like, oh no, I expect everyone to agree with me. And then like when they don't agree with me, then I am so sad. I need the next one. Like what's up with this? Why is this their natural reaction? Did anyone else who was respectable and prominent?
Popular streamer Destiny said that he wouldn't.
Popular streamer Destiny, who was kicked off of Twitch 2 years ago? Huh? There are brothers on the sister side of his family. Oh, pretty cool. Who here watches Does Brian Holdsworth watch Destiny? I mean, the level of prominence and respectability. Destiny is a respectable person. Like, I'm serious. Brian Holdsworth says, like, there's all these respectable people and all these, like, really good people who were, like, good the day before, and then all of a sudden they turn bad. And his examples are Stephen Hawking and a Twitch streamer who's a rabid leftist. Maybe you should actually get some examples of something, Mr. Brian Holdsworth, before you stream, because, like, apparently he doesn't know anyone, or else he sits on all days like simping on Twitch or something. That's all I'm getting out of this episode thus far.
Condemned the killing and said that conservatives should be afraid of getting killed when they go to events.
Yep. Did anybody else say anything bad? You know, people are saying bad things.
Musical performers Bobby Villain dedicated.
Who's Bobby Villain? literally have never heard of this person. You see a Palestinian flag, so he's clearly like a rabid person. So like, okay, so he's clearly an insane leftist. Guys, did you know insane leftist didn't like Charlie Kirk? Wow! Like, really? That's the content you come? Professional Catholic content creator comes up with insane people don't like sane people. Drop the everything and write this down, guys. Guys, the moon is not hot. Did you know that, guys? Like, unbelievable. Sugar makes you get high. No way. Like, wow. Some nobody said something to try and get attention. Unbelievable.
Did a song at their concert to Charlie.
Where were there any platforms where this stuff happened? Would it be a reputable platform like MSNBC News, which did say this? Would it be the New York Times?
And in the immediate aftermath, there were countless videos and posts on platforms like TikTok of people dancing.
The platform he goes to is TikTok. There was a literal MSNBC news thing where the guy said, oh, is this what happens when you do gun control? Or when you don't accept gun control and you want to have a Second Amendment. Like, there are worse examples that anyone could have used for this. And instead he goes, oh, there's a TikTok guy. You know how the leftists on TikTok are insane? Like, does Brian Holdsworth spend his whole day watching girl gamers on Twitch and is on TikTok? That's all I'm getting out of it. All I'm getting out of this is he's a really gooner guy who lives in his basement working for Bishop Barron, doing like gooning on TikTok, as far as I get. That's all I'm getting out of this. Okay.
Dancing and celebrating.
I like Stephen King, especially his random thoughts, having nothing to do with my life. Oh, yeah. Like newsflash, it's normalized to call Republicans horrible and vile things. So why is anything that is happening strange? Like, you can literally call Trump bad things, and you can literally have people who said, oh, he missed the shot. That was said. I should look at them. He missed the shot said about Trump's assassination attempt. Did people say? I should type that in better. Did people mockingly say? Yes. People were mocking the murder of the man trying to become president. I just had to make sure that that actually happened, and I'm just not making up. Because did you know you can just Google things now and it just comes up? Anyway, newsflash, it's normalized to mock trying to murder your political opponent. A political opponent got murdered, and that's suddenly not normalized. Oh, okay. I wonder why Rob was losing his mind saying the left is coming for you, because Rob is aware something has been normalized. Brian Holdsworth has yet to leave his basement after his wife deposited him there 7 years ago or something.
I'd like to.
Yeah, he doesn't have any sense of fashion. It's pretty sad. I can't. Why is it so low? Like, what is it? What is going on right here? Why is that there? Why? I don't know. I don't know why. I just want to draw on him now. No, let's just continue.
To believe that regardless of your political beliefs or affiliation, enough people are animated by enough decency that this kind of thing would be rare and roundly condemned. Yet it hasn't been rare.
It hasn't been rare. Radical saying horrible things about the other side. Did he live through Obama? Obama literally started a race war in America in 2012 to get reelected. That was, 16 or 12 years ago at this point. 14 years ago at this point, because that'd be 2011. With the whole Trayvon Martin, if I had a son, he would be like Trayvon Martin. Would you cross the street to not get shot like Trayvon Martin? It's like, yeah, this This has been going on for a while. The only people who aren't like me are celebrating. Only people who aren't like me are celebrating.
That all of these people celebrating are obviously on the left. I haven't seen anyone on the right acting this way.
Yeah, did you know that people who are getting shot at aren't celebrating? It's always on the left. Who was it? There was someone who died, and I was celebrating that their death. It was the that lady, Supreme Court lady, right? Remember that old witch in the Supreme Court died? I was celebrating that. I honestly was. I was dancing, like on the sidewalk outside from one house to the other house. I was dancing there, singing "Ding Dong, the Witch is Dead." I was that old widow lady. No, I wasn't. No. Oh, he needs a monocle and a top hat. No. Like, we do, in fact, celebrate Ruth Bader Ginsburg. That's her name. When Ruth Bader Ginsburg died, I was very, very happy, and I thought it was hilarious. And so we went and watched on Twitter. We went and watched all the people who were like complaining about it, and they started wearing lace, and they were like, "Oh, our rights are gone and leaving." We were laughing our asses off because it was so funny. When Trump won and the left melted down in 2015, right, the election night, we were laughing our asses off. But Brian Holdsworth only thinks the left is laughing. No, everyone is always laughing. You're just not hearing it because you're not looking for it. Brian has a list of people he wants to die so he can cheer. Very strange.
I don't know that I could easily celebrate and cheer anyone getting killed.
What about with Bader Ginsburg? I think that you could. Yeah.
It would have to be someone like a Hitler or a Stalin for me.
Wait, it would have to be a Hitler or a Stalin for you to cheer for them? Let's back that up a little bit.
Hitler or a Stalin for me to stand up and cheer for their death.
How about a stupid jerk who like is just ruining your country? Kind of like in Canada where you get these weird Indian people. And like if one of them tripped and fell and went into a contaminated river and died, you wouldn't be like, haha, that's kind of funny. You wouldn't be that way? Like, do you have a sense of humor? Like, I think the problem is Brian just has no sense of humor. It's funny. Empire politics are, in fact, a religion. This is the point. This is the point that, like, everyone seems to forget. Leftism is a religious, sociological, philosophical thing, economic plan. It's everything. It's a whole entire society in itself. Yes, my father said the same. Ding dong, the witch is dead. We all were laughing when Ruth Gator died. Did you read anything? It doesn't. It is indeed. Yeah. Anyway, my mind is scattered, so let's just get through this so we can call it a day.
Or that their moral compass is so egregiously distorted that the threshold of what justifies murderous violence for them is when people say things they disagree with, that their political orthodoxy has become so absolute that they are willing to start putting heretics to death.
This is funny. If your religion is in control of the state, you will put heretics to death. Charlie Kirk is a heretic to leftism. That's the point that everyone seems to have forgotten. Charlie Kirk was a literal heretic going into the sacred spaces called the college campuses, which are the foundation of the cathedral. And Charlie Kirk was going in there purposely to blaspheme the leftist religion, the technocratic state. That's where they get their children. That's where they birth their new brains, in that leftist state. So Charlie Kirk is going into there, sticking his fingers up their noses and laughing. And Charlie Kirk knew this, and that's why he did it. That's why all the people did it. That's why Crowder did it, Shapiro did it, Milo did it, Kirk did it. Because they figured this out because someone told them about Mencius Moldbug's The Cathedral. So, like, yeah, it's a religion. Go in and you might get hurt. I don't know. This seems to escape a lot of people. Like they can't think outside a little box. It's very strange to me. So this part is for Jihan.
I remember when Kim Jong-il died, the former communist dictator of North Korea.
This is a live picture of Jihan, by the way.
The former communist dictator of North Korea and the father of the current communist dictator of North Korea. For days after he died, there were clips of North Koreans who were out in the streets, driven to dramatic,
That's also what Jihan looks like on a daily basis.
hysterical spectacles of grief and out in the streets, driven to dramatic, hysterical spectacles of grief and mourning. And I remember asking myself, like, what would it be like to be that indoctrinated?
It's not indoctrination. It's a religion. It's a whole way of life they've come to know and love. And it's, of course, it's incorrect. So it gives them cognitive dissonance. It's like, have some empathy for leftists every now and then. Anyway, let's continue.
What would it be like to be that indoctrinated?
What would it like to be that indoctrinated? It would be as if you were in the Novus Ordo religion. That's what it would be.
How do I know I'm not indoctrinated?
How does he know he's not indoctrinated? Oh, I don't know. Maybe you need another round of gay blessings.
How do I know I'm not indoctrinated? How could I know? How could I even test that?
I just can't possibly know. Like, have you tried to listen to the other side, invited them on, had a dialogue with them like Charlie Kirk did? Then maybe you would know. Unbelievable. But you only do content for yourself, a one-sided you talking at your audience. So how would you know? You wouldn't. That's the answer. You wouldn't know because you're not open to the conversation. This is all hilarious to me. Well, that's as much as I'd prepared. We've gone on for 100 minutes. It's a lot of minutes. Did you know that they used to sell cell phones with 100 minutes? Like, you could have bought a cell phone and had just watch only this show. That's insanity. Thank you so much for coming on. I know. It has been ruthless Ginsburger less. Yeah. Charlie Kirk was he's a material heretic. Now, there's more to the Charlie Kirk story that you'd have to go watch Father Jenkins' episode from What Do Catholics Believe to actually get a better picture on that. But Charlie Kirk, we shouldn't christen him. And if you look at the public outcry, we have to distinguish between right-wing populism, which has been a 70-year movement, which carried Buchanan, but then the Republican Party locked him out. It carried Barry Goldwater, Republican Party locked him out. Carried Ron Paul, Republican Party locked him out. Trump decided that he was going to go on that bandwagon. The Bernie brothers was part of the right-wing populism movement. A lot of people don't realize that. The right-wing Democrats are part of right-wing Republican populism. You know who said that? Murray Rothbard. So, like, it's a big movement of we hate the establishment, and that's what's going on. And the establishment throughout the entire world is dominated by this leftist, technocratic, authoritarian, anti-human state. It's also anti-Christian. And so that's what's going on. Not this Charlie Kirk is the embodiment of Catholicism. No, it's just the state is evil. Everyone hates the state, knows the state is ruining their life. But that's no reason to just whitewash Charlie Kirk into being a great hero. Yeah, and Father Jenkins is fantastic. I don't get how Father Jenkins is in his 70s now. It's just so easily like the better commentator than 90% of everybody else. There should be people better than him, and like sometimes he's just perfect. Okay, God bless you all. Thank you all for watching. That's the end of the show. Remember to pray your rosaries and, be happy and have a nice day or something. I don't know. End the stream. And oh, by the way, if anybody wants to come in and talk to me, we're dropping the link now. God bless and good night. And end the stream.